Wing Lam demonstrates the entire Xingyiquan 12 animals set. The 12 animals contained in this set are the dragon, tiger, monkey, horse, turtle, rooster, hawk, sparrow, snake, ostrich, eagle, and bear. The movements imitate these animals when they are fighting in self-defense or when they're catching their prey. Each of the 12 animals has its own character. Some are strong and hard, while others are soft. Some move quickly, while others move more slowly. In training the Xingyiquan 12 animals set, one strives to understand the particular character of each animal and to incorporate that character into one's own movements. This enables a practitioner to improve both his internal and external condition. Training the 12 animals also involves learning different ways to generate power from the entire body. The goal is the ability to use the whole body as one harmonious unit. When practicing, the 12 animals set may be linked together as one continuous set, or it may be separated to train each animal's movement and power. Each animal will be taught in one lesson. Each lesson will begin with hand techniques, followed by footwork, and then finally with the details. The lessons will be shown from both a side view and a front view. 12 animals is the dragon. In this line, as with each of the other 12 animals, it begins from the Wuji stance. From the Wuji stance, cross both hands in front of your body. Separate hands to Santi stance. Pull in both fists. Left back fist, right downward palm strike. Repeat the exact same movements on the opposite side. To change directions, block low with right hand, pulling up to right back fist. Follow with left downward palm strike. To end the line, right back fist, then left Santi stance. Press both hands against your outer thighs. Pivot the left foot so that it remains straight. Step left to a Santi stance. Dragon step with left foot to low twist stance. Repeat on the right side. Turn when the left foot is in front. Pivot on the heel of the left foot. Right dragon step to low twist stance. To end the dragon line, right back step, left step to Santi stance, then left step back to Wuji stance. In executing the dragon movements, the stance, the upper body, and the palm strike all sync together in one linked single movement. Likewise, when raising up, the movements are unified. Knee with elbow, fist with foot, shoulder with hip. The body stays low when reversing direction. And again, the line ends in the Wuji stance. The hands cross at the heart height as though blocking a punch. The hand movement is similar to that of splitting fist, the metal element, except that the backhand is pulled to the hip. All other movements are in the center. Notice how Sifu Lam's attention is focused on the movements. During the dragon step, the heel of the stepping foot is in the center line. The back foot is straight and in line with the heel of the front foot. The dragon style is difficult. It can be strenuous on the lower body, particularly the hips, knees, and ankles. If your legs and knees are not strong enough, Begin practicing this set with a slightly higher stance and with fewer repetitions. As your condition improves, deepen your stance and perform more repetitions. Like with all the other movements in Xingyi, practice at first can be slow. The tiger begins from the Wuji stance. From Wuji, step into a Santi stance as the dragon style. Right hand reaches out, both hands pull in, double palm strike, and repeat. From Wuji, step out into Santi. Left half step, right step. Left step to 45-degree angle, left step straight. Right step to 45-degree angle. To change directions, left step to triangle stance, right step to 45-degree angle, and to end, right step to front, right back step, left step to Santi stance, and left step back to Wuji stance. The double palm strikes should be linked to the angular steps. The eyes look to the center between the hands. The hands pulled down to the abdomen, then twist up before striking. The palm strike is at chest height. In the line, the first two steps are straight. The following movements then zigzag back and forth in a 45-degree pattern. At full speed, the tiger style should be performed explosively. Each movement is aggressive, like a tiger catching its prey. For the monkey, from Wuji, step into Santi. Left and right whipping blocks. Left jab, right then left grab, right palm strike. Right then left grab, right palm strike. Repeat. Left, right, then left jab, right hook block, left Santi stance. From Santi stance, right, left, then right back step. Raise left leg, left step to right jumping knee. Repeat. Right, left, then right back step. Left step to Santi stance. Left step back to Wuji stance. The monkey style repeats the same technique 2.5 times. The first repetition is to the left, the second is to the right, and the last, which is only half of the sequence, is towards the front. Here is the monkey style demonstrated slower. The whipping blocks must cover the center line, while the jabbing and grabbing movements extend out straight towards the opponent's center line. first blocks are to the right. The first single leg stance and jumping knee are to the left. The second single leg stance and jumping knee are to the right. The final series of blocks is to the front. The monkey style emphasizes lightness, quickness, and agility. Also, when you practice, focus on the rapid changes of direction. For the horse, begin from Wu Ji, step to San Ti. Right hand reaches out, both hands pull in. Double punch with left fist in front, both hands pull in, double punch with right hand in front. Right back fist, left San Ti stance, and finally return to Wu Ji stance. The footwork in the horse style is exactly the same as that we found in the tiger style. From facing forward, the left foot steps out 45 degrees to the left, then 45 degrees to the right, alternating, turn, repeat the movements back to the point of origin, then finally turn 180 degrees with the final movement facing forward, and end in San Ti, then Wu Ji stance. On the double punch, the hand that is in front is the same as the foot that is in front. Although notice that the front hand leads the lagging hand by only about one fist width. The double punch is extended with the palms of both hands facing down. Notice how the wrists turn into this position right as the movement is finally executed. The first two steps are straight. Then the footwork alternates from the left side, then to the right side, then back to the left side. The punches drive forward and downward with a twisting motion. Notice that the elbows are always kept below the shoulder level. From San Ti stance, left hand drops down, then chops out. Right circles, then chops out. To change directions, make one complete circle with both hands, then right chop. To end, left San Ti stance, then Wu Ji stance. From the San Ti stance, left back step, then left angled step, approximately 45 degrees off to the left. Left half step. Right angled step. To change directions, left step to triangle stance. After the triangle stance, repeat the same movements from left to right to left. To end, right then left steps to San Ti stance and back to Wu Ji stance. The hands circle together. The chop focuses at the same time as the weight transfers in each stance. Turn, change directions 45 degrees to the right, then the left, then the right. The hand movements cross the center line. They could be interpreted as either blocking or striking movements. The footwork angles back and forth from side to side with each step 45 degrees off the center line. Here, the hand movements are shown in slow motion. Begin by forming the hand shape with the thumb and index finger extended. The hands are linked together throughout all of the movements. From Wuji, step out into Santi. Right jab, left palm, repeat. Double block up, double block down, right punch, right high block, right chop down, right rising ridge hand. Santi stance, repeat. To end, left punch, double block down, and return to Wuji stance. From Santi stance, right heel kick. Alternating steps forward, right heel kick, left step forward, shift to right bow stance, left then right forward steps, Santi stance. To end, right half step, right back step, left step back to Wuji stance. The initial series of hand jabs may be repeated from 1 to 3 times, depending upon the space available. The movements for changing directions, however, are always the same. The first hand jab is with the palm up. The hand jabs are all along the center line. Palm down, palm forward, palm down, palm up. Low punch. The forward steps after the kick are performed with a high knee, which may be interpreted as either a block or a strike. Either way, the movements are swift and sure. At full speed, the rooster style should be performed quickly, imitating a rooster pecking with its beak and shaking its feathers. From Santi stance, form fists. Left uppercut, right block and left straight punch. Right uppercut, right circling block, left uppercut. Right circling block, left uppercut. To end, right back fist, left Santi stance, and return to Wuji stance. From the Santi stance, left half step. right, then left forward steps. Left half step, right forward step, pivot. Left half step, repeat. To end, right half step. Left step to Santi stance, left step back to Wuji stance. To the chin. The simultaneous block and punch is from the fire element of the 5-element set. As with so many of the movements in previous lines, all of the punches are aimed to the center line. When pivoting to change directions, do not rise up in your stance. The uppercut and simultaneous block and punch technique may be repeated as many times as desired. From Wuji and then Santi stance, right hand circles back, right jab up with left jab down. Left low jab, left chop. To change directions, both hands press down, right back fist, left Santi stance, and repeat. From Santi stance, right heel kick, left jumping knee to left low bow stance. Right, then left forward steps. Right stomp, left forward step, right half step, left forward step. Left step to triangle stance, turn. Right, then left step to a Santi stance, and repeat. Turn as before, ending in Wuji stance. Focus on relaxing the shoulders and extending the hand movements. Stomp. Triangle stance, turn, Santi stance, and repeat the same sequence of movements back into the opposite direction. The upper body and waist rotate during the circling movements. The Sparrow style contains challenging stance work. Focus on a smooth transition from one stance to the next. The emphasis is on waist flexibility, jumping, and balance. From Wuji to Santi stance, right down down jab and left block. Right punch, left down jab and right block. Left punch. Repeat the sequences. Turn, right down jab, right step, left step, right step. Turn, and the sequence ends in San Ti and Wu Ji stance. For the footwork, left half step to a twist stance. Right step with a following step. Right half step to twist stance. Left step with right following step. To change directions, left half step to twist stance. Repeat the sequence. The following step occurs right behind the heel of the leading foot. To end, step back into San Ti and Wu Ji stance. The hand movements are coordinated with a 45-degree angle changes in direction. Downward and up into a punch. The downward movement resembles a finger jab, but it's also a block and a coiling movement, getting the leading hand ready for the following punch. The twist stances are not very deep. They're more of evasive movements, getting ready to set up your opponent for your following punch. The movements cross center line, down into the opposite side, then rising back up into a punch directed at your opponent's center line. Cross center line, up, punch to center line. The movements are as though you are evading opponents from one direction and focusing on your opponent in the other direction, continuously evading, focusing, evading, and focusing. The downward finger jabs are coordinated with the step into a twist stance, then rising up slightly into the punch. The ostrich, like the others, begins from Wu Ji and San Ti stance. The arms circle upward and outward, clearing a path for the double punches to strike at the lower chest area of your opponent. Step back into San Ti and Wu Ji stance. The footwork of the ostrich is identical with that of the horse and the tiger, as well as the explosive spirit of the movements. From San Ti, right hand goes up, circles simultaneously with the left hand, out and down into a punch to the lower rib area. Triangle step, step out to the right with a following step, left with a right foot following step, and right with the left foot following step. Repeat the movements, and step back into San Ti stance with the right foot forward and back into a Wu Ji stance. Using the footwork with the same 45-degree angle changes of direction, from San Ti stance, step with the right foot and then out left 45 degrees with the following foot, triangle stance to turn, step to the right, then the left, then the right with the lagging foot assuming a following stance. The end of the movement is a right down punch, ending into a San Ti and then into a Wu Ji stance. The arm movements circle upward and outward, clearing a path, as though to block away an opponent's arms. Clearing the path, your two fists simultaneously punch to the lower chest area of your opponent. The punches and the step to the 45-degree angles occur and end simultaneously, using all of your body's power and momentum to focus on the punches. Also notice that in the punches, the fists are facing upwards, turning upwards at the last moment to focus all of your power in your knuckles and towards your opponent's chest. The eagle combines control moves and a strike done with a unique eagle palm hand with an upward fist strike to the face. The footwork is similar to that of the tiger and the horse, except that in the eagle there are two steps to each 45-degree opposite direction, both done with the same leading foot. From Wuji and Santi stance, shift your weight back onto your right foot, raising your left foot for a shuffle step to the left, followed by another left step, then turning to the right with a shuffle step to the right, another right step, then a turn of direction to the left. Step, step again, pivot, change to the right, step, step and pivot, change to the left. Repeat this cycle as many times. At the first step to the angle, your backhand extends forward and down in an eagle palm strike, then it circles back and upward to a face-level punch, with your fist facing upwards. After the punch, your punching hand grabs and pulls backward down to your waist as your other hand comes out and down for the eagle palm strike. Circle up, grab down, pull back. That is the control move, which is followed by a punch to the face level. The forward extended eagle palm can also be a palm strike to the upper abdomen or lower rib area. Notice the position of the hands as the eagle strike occurs. Fingers spread slightly with the tips curved. The thumb pulled back and hooked inwards toward the palm. These finger positions are done, however, with not the hand tense, but relaxed. Note also that the hand movements are perfectly coordinated with the steps. The bear combines footwork identical to that we have just learned from the eagle, with a relentless and constant and very powerful attack that has no hesitation. Also from the eagle is the upward punch to the face. However, in the bear, we add a very powerful elbow strike to the ribs. In the bear, we do not step backwards, shifting our weight to the right foot to begin with like we did in the eagle, but rather we step directly to the left, followed by your right foot, pivoting on your left foot to the opposite direction. Step, step pivot, step, step pivot, step, step pivot, changing directions with each pivot. Finally stepping out into Santi and back into the Wuji stance. hand movements coordinated with the foot movements. Fists, punch to the face with an upward fist followed by a reinforced elbow jab to the ribs. After the punch, downward block, elbow strike to the ribs. Punch to the face, downward block, elbow strike to the ribs. From the front, we make a fist, strike to the face, downward block towards the chest. The striking hand is then used as an elbow jab, with your opposite hand pressing against your fist, reinforcing the elbow jab. Giving these movements added strength and power is the fact that they are perfectly coordinated with the foot movements. Rather than thinking of striking with your elbow, you're actually striking with your elbow and your whole body. The turn is done from the triangle step and punch outward. From fists, punch to the face, notice how each move is distinct. Pay attention to the target area. Now Sifu Wing Lam will perform the entire 12 animal set as we've just learned it. Except to begin with, Sifu Lam will show you 3 variations of the dragon style. The first one is with the dragon stances somewhat higher than normal practice height. This will give the practitioner a great opportunity to develop leg strength as well as flexibility in the hips, knees, and ankles. The body movements and hand movements are the same. It's just that the stance is not quite as low. As you gain proficiency, you can lower your stance gradually. The next variation is somewhat difficult. Instead of walking forwards from one dragon stance to the next, the practitioner jumps upward, switches position, and then jumps upward and switches position back again. You can do this as many times as your legs will hold out. The next and final variation on the dragon style is a combination of jumping and moving forward and backwards. Again, the hand and body movements are the same. The dragon stances are the same as well. Instead, the transitions are done by jumping upwards and forwards or backwards. Now Sifu Lam will perform the dragon set, done at the normal practicing height and stance. When practicing all of the 12 animals, give yourself opportunity to focus on different aspects of each set. You can vary the speed at which you practice. You can vary the power with which you issue your moves. In each case, you will need to focus on the accuracy and the precision of your moves. Correctness is important. It's the most fundamental part of learning Xingyi. As you get more confident with your practice, you can increase the speed and increase the power. Watching Sifu Lam perform the entire 12 animals, you can take this opportunity to compare some of the similarities amongst the different animals. There may be similarities in body movements, hand movements, and footwork. but also at the same time, pay close attention to the particular spirit of each different animal form, and how that spirit is reflected in the movements and the manner in which the movements are performed. Particularly important to Xingyi is the linking of your entire body and the coordination of your movements throughout all of the sets. No single part of your body moves and is significant unless your whole body moves with it. To achieve this unity of body movement and linking, the first stages of your practice should be devoted to concentration on the correctness of the movements, and concentration on linking each movement together. Only after some degree of this linking has been achieved can you focus on greater speed and power.